Nerdy Scribbler. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Nerdy Scribbler. As always, I'm your host Anthony D'Elia, and today we'll be continuing the Pokemon Cuties As Creepies series. However, this time we're going to be mixing things up a bit. Instead of just taking cute Pokemon and making them creepy, I'm going to take 7 Pokemon and draw each of them representing one of the 7 deadly sins. This series is going to be broken into 2 parts. I'll be drawing 4 of them today, so be on the lookout for the remaining 3 next week. And remember to give the video a like, a comment, and subscribe if you enjoy what you see here today and want to stay up to date on all Nerdy Scribbler content. So I'll be starting with Slakoth representing the sin of sloth. Go figure, right? The damn thing looks nearly identical to a real sloth and is considered to be the laziest Pokemon. Its Pokedex entry reads, Slakoth's heart beats just once a minute. Whatever happens, it is content to loaf around motionless. It is rare to see this Pokemon in motion. So naturally, I have Slakoth lying about. It looks like it's wanted to move but can never find the motivation to do so. It is really depressing to look at, and I drew its fur all matted and clumped, looking to show off its inability to even clean itself. I gave it a cartoon visible odor and drew flies dropping out of the air around it due to its pungency it's putting out. Its face is all smushed into the ground as if it's trying to become one with it. Speaking of which, the ground has a disgusting ooze on it, probably from mixing with Slakoth's own filth and whatever dirt it's lying in. I added a gradient to the odor and gave the picture a neutral gray background. Next up is Murkrow representing the sin of greed. Its dex entry reads, Murkrow is feared and loathed as the alleged bearer of ill fortune. This Pokemon shows strong interest in anything that sparkles or glitters. It will even try to steal rings from women. I've always imagined that Murkrow will evolve into Honchkrow when they get enough riches to become the big mob boss. So I have the Murkrow here doing just that. It's flaunting $1 while it sits atop its mound of growing cash. I decided to take the mob boss design and push it a bit further to give it more of a dirty underground market look. I made the feathers really thin and wavy and the neck floof really scraggly. Also, its talons look like hands gripping its valuables. I went with a cross-hatched shading technique to give it an old-timey look, but I used bright colors to show off its exorbitance. But my favorite part has to be the cigar in its mouth. The little ring of light with the smoke is a nice touch. Murkrow is an OG. Our third sinner is Snorlax, the Pokemon of gluttony. I think this was an obvious choice, but I couldn't think of any other Pokemon I would want to represent overeating. Snorlax's Pokedex entry reads, Snorlax's typical day consists of nothing more than eating and sleeping. It is such a docile Pokemon that there are children who use its expansive belly as a place to play. So I drew a little inspiration from Invader Zim's Bloaty's Pizza Hog, and I have this disgusting blob of fat just lying there continuing to stuff its face. Oh, I eat too many pizza. I love the cartoon belly button with the X on it. I have Snorlax laying in a mountain of vegetation, just a never-ending food source to stuff into its maw. Its hand is practically reaching down its throat to shove food aside so it can make room for even more. I added layers of fat to its ankles and even made its ears swollen. The reason Snorlax's eyes are always shut is because it can't open them due to its monstrous cheeks. Finally, we have Meowth. Meowth's entry reads, Meowth withdraws its sharp claws into its paws to sneakily sneak about without making any incriminating footsteps. For some reason, this Pokemon loves shiny coins that glitter with light. Now, despite this, I decided to give Meowth the sin of envy simply from my experiences with him on the show. He's always envious of those who are more successful than him, especially when it comes to Giovanni's Persian. Meowth can often be found daydreaming of what it would be like to be the boss's favorite Pokemon. So here I have Meowth trying to force himself to evolve. He's taking away his forehead coin to replicate the same red spot that Persian has. His top whiskers are cringing with pain while his side whiskers curl in excitement at his new transformation. His eyes are crying and bloodshot from the torture he is putting himself through, but he craves that sweet success. All of the hairs along his spine are standing at attention, so while many Meowths enjoy their sparkly coins, this one is getting rid of his to become one step closer to being more like Persian. And that will do it for this episode of the Nerdy Scribbler. Next week I'll be continuing the 7 deadly Pokesins with Wrath, Lust, and Pride. So if you enjoyed what you've seen here, leave a like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments below what Pokemon you think represents each sin. Until next time, my scribblings.